Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel Arsenal fans all over this world. Yes, it's Friday again, and Friday usually means it's the Easy Talk. We've got almost a full house. We've got the chairman of the board returning back. Oh, he's got the hood on. Take off the hood, man.
You guys already know, man. I'm here. I'm here. What's happening? What's happening? Happy to
Nice
be
one,
back
man.
on the show, man.
It's been a while. It's been a while. And top right, we've got serious business going on. He might just make you an offer to refuse. I'll tell the original Godfather.
Yeah, go back to my alter ego, the original Godfather, and make a few offers that you boys can't refuse.
And we're waiting for the Don Larry. So I think he might be held up a little bit, but yeah, hopefully once we get the show up and running, he'll be back in action tonight. So we've got lots to cover. Let's see how quickly we can run through this one. Hopefully in less than an hour. But I'm going to try and tease MOBAY, the chairman of the board, with some talks about the goalkeeper. We'll see
Not
the other
gonna
side of
happen.
this.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen.
See the other side of this music intro. Yeah. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder. I tell you what, we didn't do an Easy Talk last week, and it just feels like it's been the longest while. I think maybe because MOBAY hasn't been on the show for a while.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've been in the comments though. I've been in the comments. That's for sure. I'm still on the show. Might not be on video, but I'm in the comments because every time you guys be talking all that trash, I'm there. I'm there. I will move my computer to. I got an open chair. Let's move to a different corner right here. That way I can get a little better light. There you go. All right, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yeah, actually, people are asking. He's been traveling. He's been on the road, man. God, no rest for the wicked.
Yeah, I've been on the road for almost a year, man. I have some big stuff coming up, man. But I just gotta keep grinding. You know how that go.
Yeah. Amen to that. And original Godfather, Eltel. How you been keeping, man?
Yeah, I've been on the road, just walking around my local park, you know. But I just wonder if MOBAY is anywhere near Meghan Markle and Prince Harry if he's on the road.
I wish. I hope he needs a bodyguard. I'll take that job.
I'll tell you, as soon as you use that word trash, I thought, here we go. It's that story again. Trash.
Oh no! Some people they be talking about my. Just imagine, Intel. Imagine I have been on the show for a month, and as soon as Leno does something bad, Alex called me to put me on the show. It's a plan thing. I know it is a plan thing. He never calls when stuff is going good.
That's my agenda, man.
But yeah, let's go, man. Let's go. Love it.
Dear. Anyway, guys, so those are my guests for the evening. Like I said, in the intro, we're hoping that the Don Larry is going to be make it sometime before we wrap up this one. But anyway, so we were in action yesterday. God, dearie me, man. Oh, we avoided the Greek tragedy yesterday, man. When we got the job done, first leg against Olympiacos. And we kind of gave away a bit of a freebie, but Erdegaard, wonderful goal. Although I thought the goalkeeper, I don't know sure what the goalkeeper was trying to do. Was he trying to what was the goalkeeper trying to do? But listen, we'll take that.
He was trying to have, I think, because his hand went out and he was doing that.
But listen, we'll take it anyway. And there are some people on Twitter just saying, "Oh my goodness, we need goals," and Arteta's bringing on Mohamed Elneny, only for him to silence them and score a disgusting goal. An absolutely disgusting goal there, man. Ah, my goodness.
It was. We saw two lovely. We usually see goals like that score against us. Everybody seems to score worldies against. It's either only goals that we can see. It's either a bad mistake by our players or it's a worldie. It's just never. There's no in between. And
Yeah.
man, it was good to see Mohamed El Neni come up with that goal, man. It was a wonderful strike. But you can't even enjoy Arsenal goals anymore, man, because you're just waiting on the team. Like it's like we just watch the team and waiting on them to make a mistake, man. It's so tired just watching, just waiting. Even when we go a goal up, it's like you're happy, but at the same time you're like, all right, who's gonna do something this week? And it just keeps happening every week, every week. So I'm glad we won though. 3-1, like I said in the group yesterday, man. I don't care who scores the goals. 3-1 away from home in Europe, you cannot complain about that.
They're saying that Gabriel's goal was like an old style centre back's header of a goal. LTL. I mean, personally, I didn't see it because I had some problems with my live stream. But what's your estimation of Gabriel and the performance yesterday?
I thought he played very well, but interestingly enough, people are suggesting maybe that Arsenal are being overtrained and that Arteta is being too prescriptive. But actually, quite a few people have said we've finally, as MOBAY was saying, we're finally shooting from a distance. And they're even saying that Willian's cross, which led to Gabriel's goal, was not something they planned. That some of the players are stretching themselves outside of all the different plans and all the different set pieces. And of course, for Chelsea, I didn't watch him a lot, but he always did play as a right winger there. And he got a short corner play to him, and then he centered it beautifully. And Gabriel rose like an absolute swan, scored a phenomenal header, headed it back the way the sort of ball came, which keeps the sort of pace on it. And then the bloke he out-jumped started to complain that he'd been hurt by Gabriel's jump. Well, that's madness. I mean, every time a goal is scored now, they have to go and look at it on VAR. And I must say, I was home punching the air, and then I thought, not VAR again. And the fella was rubbing his cheek. He wasn't sure which one to rub. You know, I go, mad, isn't it? You know.
But sorry, Ruben, did you want to say something? Or
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So the goal by Gabriel, Martin Erdegaard, although we'll be talking about him a little bit later on, and Mohamed El Neni. There was how can I say this? There was a report out from the Irish Express in regards to this gentleman here, Mikel Arteta, and in this report it says that I make them play that way. They're also gifting Olympiacos another defensive howler. Now, when asked at the press conference, he says, well, Arsenal, the team are like their own worst enemy, but I'm demanding that they play that way. Now, I just want you guys to watch, look at this this picture here. So you can see Leno is passing the ball to Ceballos, and Ceballos is on a quarter turn, and he's been dispossessed with the ball, and then, Arabi scores the goal. Now, it's not the first time. It's not the first time that we're making silly mistakes. And actually, Arteta does say that it's good that we're actually making the silly mistakes, because once we cut those mistakes out, we'll be good to go forward. But my question is, does Arteta have the players to be trying to play out from the back, MOBAY? Does he have the players? I mean, I understand the philosophy, but does he have the players to be playing out from the back?
Well, that's the issue. We won, and we ask for this all the time, Alex. Me and you always had this conversation when Emery was here. It's like, do you want a manager who is gonna be soft with these players and accept? Listen, what's been going on at this club for years? We don't want to go back to that. We're trying to move on, and we're trying to move on from these players. The players are not good enough. You just don't play them. That's how I look at it. I don't want my manager to come in and suck up to these players. Just like he came in and got rid of certain players out the club. You see a better vibe at the club all of a sudden. I don't want my manager to come in and suck up to these players. If you're not good enough, you're not good enough, and it's time to move on. Especially a player that's on loan. Let's keep making the same mistake over. We have to deal with Xhaka because he's here for the long term. It looked like Arteta really like him, but I don't really think that I won't want my manager to be changing his style of play to suit players. And if you look at the goals that we conceded, Leno, I'm a big Leno fan, and I still defend him. I'm not putting the blame on him 100%, but he's got to understand too. Sometimes you just don't play. If you can't trust the players, pass the ball to the other player. The one in the Xhaka, I'm not blaming him at all for that one. You know what I'm saying? That one was on granite. too long on the ball. But then you got to understand, as a player, we see Partey got the ball in that exact position that Xhaka and Ceballos got the ball in. That's what you talk about, the quality of Thomas Partey. He was able to turn out of it, play the ball in the middle of the Willian. That's how we score our first goal against Burnley. You know, once you get that first ball, once you get that first pass right, it opens up the game so much. If Ceballos just played the ball back to Leno, it was so easy to play the ball back to Leno yesterday. You know, just one touch. The thing is, he's you, and I always call him, this little fidget. He likes to turn around on the ball and spins and spins and spins, and he does this all over the field. There's just at some point you have to realize that this is not a good place to do this. Let me just knock the ball back and move back into space, and I can collect it back. If he just passed the ball back to Leno, then Leno can go wide with the ball. Leno can go to the left, to the right. Leno, on the other hand, he could have went to the left and went to the right at the first pass, you know. But when you're trying to build a certain philosophy at a club, when Pep Guardiola came in at Manchester City, he didn't change his way of playing to suit the players. Just remember that his first year, they were pretty bad, but he didn't change the way he played. Joe Hart was one of the best keepers in the Premier League before Guardiola came there. He didn't change the style of play to suit Joe Hart. No, he brought in a player from Spain. I forgot what the goalkeeper name was. And he came in and took over for Joe Hart because he could have played better with his feet, but then he was pretty bad with his hands. So he sold him a few years later. You know, that's the thing. As a manager, Bravo. Yeah, it was Bravo. You come in and you bring the players in that suits your style. You don't change your style to suit the players. I'm not with that at all. I don't think that it was that hard for Ceballos yesterday just to play the ball back to Leno, because it looks bad when Leno played the ball to him and he get closed down very easy. But he controls the balls. That's the problem. You didn't have to control that ball. Just like Granit Xhaka, if he had played that ball one time on the weekend with his left, the ball was on his left, his favorite left foot. One time pass, it was wide open. There was two players that were wide open. He didn't. He dwelled on the ball, put it on his right, and then trying to, whatever he tried to do, scoop it over the player to the player on the next side of the field. And then we go up and then we're going to blame Leno. But then you have to look at all the players. And I don't want my manager to change the way he's trying to set up this team, because now we're creating chances. At one point, we were here on the show complaining that we're not even creating the chance. Aubameyang, no service. Now we're creating the chances. We're not taking them, but we're creating a lot of chances. The team is playing way better. I don't want that to change to suit no player that we have. I don't care who it is. If you can't play the system, this summer, Ceballos need to go back to Madrid if he can't fix what he need to get fixed. And Granit Xhaka, we've seen this years and years and years. What are we going to do? Change the style to suit Granit Xhaka? He's played with so much different midfielders. He's been here for a long time. He's played with so much different partners in midfield, and we keep saying the same thing. It don't matter who you put beside him. Eventually, he's going to make a mistake. How long are we going to keep trying to tweak our style of play to suit him? It's not getting us anywhere. We haven't really won any major trophies with Granit Xhaka at the club. The FA Cups, okay, thank you for that. But we haven't really made any strides with him in the midfield. We have to start looking past that. So I'm not with we don't have the players to play out from the back, because I'm not trying to go back to 5 at the back that we played the end of last year, and defensive team and hit players on the counter attack, play the ball to Tierney, he played down to Aubameyang, and we nick a goal on the run. I'm not trying to go back to that. I like the way we're playing now. Because we're not winning every game, but we're creating a lot of chances. If we take our chances in these games, we will blow team out of the water, literally, if we take our chances. And it's not even hard chances. Before we scored yesterday, we had 2 clear goals. Yeah. Odegaard should have scored before he scored his goal. Yeah. So we just need to take our chances and move on, man. Players needs to adapt to the manager, not the other way around.
So just quickly, MOBAY, you made a comparison between Partey and Xhaka. We had a debate, LTL, about Xhaka. He demanded the ball from Leno, knowing that Xhaka is one of the slowest thinking players that we have and moves so slow on the pitch. Should Leno have given him the ball, MOBAY?
But that's the thing. You have to trust your teammates, I guess. They do this every day in training. He has to trust his teammates. I see people talking yesterday that people don't want to pass that. You could see that the players are hesitant to pass the ball to Bellerin. I saw that a lot yesterday. That's not good. The players are hesitant to pass the ball around Bellerin. You have to trust your teammates. If they're not good enough, just don't put them on the field. If that was Partey that was in that position, I don't think we're in this position that we was yesterday. If it was another, not even Partey, I'm not even going to put it at Partey. If Smith Rowe was in that position, he would have just knocked it and just keep it moving. But Leno too. I'm not trying to be a big Leno fan, but he has to. There's other option. You don't have to play to the man in the middle all the time. This happened 2 weeks in a row. 2 weeks in a row now we've seen it. You play to the man in the middle, he lost the ball. Now you got, and now you're making you look bad. You're conceding goal. Your clean sheet is getting ruined. Now you have to think, when you see somebody closing the man in the middle down, don't play to it. Play it wide. If it happens again, then you have to start blaming Leonard too, because how often are you going to do it before you realize that it's just too much? You just have to not trust him anymore. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Eltel.
Yeah, I mean, I can say that. I mean, the thing is, Martinez was better with his feet while we had him at Arsenal. Leno always looks worried. He looks as though he's in 2 minds, 3 minds. And using Arteta's own words, Arteta said a few weeks ago that Xhaka is a great player when he has the whole game in front of him. Now, that if we're going back to the Burnley match, Xhaka's the sort of player, he's the opposite of Fabregas, if people can think back to when we had Fabregas. The one thing I noticed about him as he came through into the first team was he constantly scans. He looks one way, he looks the other. He gets a picture in his head of who is where and who's moving where. Xhaka doesn't do that. And by Arteta's own admission, he doesn't do that. So he's like a player that is like a horse that has sort of blinkers on him. He can only see what's directly in front of him. So he's the worst guy you can possibly get to go between 2 forwards, get a ball from the goalkeeper, and then he's no idea where the 2 forwards are because he hasn't got that scanning. It doesn't naturally scan. So that to me is the first thing. You don't want players like that who can't scan. And obviously, Ceballos too isn't very good at scanning. As long as the game's in front of him, he can play forward. But as soon as he's got his back to goal and the goalkeeper's playing it to him, he doesn't know who's on him. And of course, forwards are fast. I mean, you know, we've scored many a goal by this pressing of goalkeepers. So that's the first thing. The second thing, to pick up what MOBAY was saying about players not passing to each other. Years ago, I used to know one of the Arsenal players quite well, and I knew his parents as well. I just happened to meet them at a reserve game. The guy's name was Brian McDermott, and I got to know the parents very well. And they told me, I'd watch him week in, week out. They said to me, one of the players, and I won't mention his name, but one of the players in the Arsenal reserves who went through into the first team along with Brian McDermott and did really well. This guy did really well. I won't mention his name. But they said to me, you watch it. This player will never pass to Brian. And I said, well, why is that? Because I watched, 45 minutes of it, and they were absolutely right. And they said, oh, they grew up in schoolboy football together. They didn't like each other. They don't like each other in the dressing room. So there are some times where you get this feeling that either they don't like each other or they certainly don't trust Bellerin. And I'd like, if people don't believe what I'm about to say, I'd like you to watch excerpts from the match yesterday. Bellerin doesn't control the ball first time properly. He doesn't trust himself. So whereas when you play to an overlapping fullback, you expect him to not stop the ball and then move forward. You expect him to catch the ball and in one movement play it forward. Bellerin doesn't do that. Time and again, I watched him yesterday. When the ball came to him, he stopped it, controlled it, in other words, and then moved it forwards. That's no good. And that will not work with the kind of game that Arteta is trying to put into place. So I'm absolutely sure that he's gone in the summer. And as MOBAY was just saying, there's going to be a lot of to-ing and fro-ing. He's got to get these guys out and he's got to get some good replacements in. And for all the good that Xhaka does with the play in front of him, I would lose Xhaka. I've always thought of him as half a player. He's got the Emmanuel Petit, lovely, sweet left foot, curls the ball towards attackers and all of that, but he can't tackle. Terrible tackler. He's improved a little bit under Arteta's tutelage, but he's still not really a good tackler. And of course, he's a big figure in that dressing room. And when he then demands the ball off Leno, as he did in Burnley, I'm sure, you know, the pecking order in the dressing room is if Xhaka goes and says to you, go and get me a coffee, you go and get him a coffee. So if he says, pass the ball to me, you go and pass the ball to him. He was the worst person that he never scans. Well, he scans what's ahead of him, but he's got no vision at either side. He doesn't know what's happening back behind him. So I think they've got to relook at this. They've got to get back into the training ground and sort it out.
MOBAY, who was your man of the match yesterday? Before we move on, who was your man of the match?
I'm gonna give it to Gabriel. I think he had a pretty solid game, not just the goal he scored, but him and Luis seem to have something going on defensively. They really do play well together when they get to play together and cut out the mistake. The goal yesterday wasn't neither of them fault, so we can't really blame them for that. But defensively, I think they held up pretty well. I'm not a big fan of Luis at all, but he played well yesterday too. But I'm just going to give it to Gabriel because I don't really think there was a standout man of the match. Even Odegaard with the goal he scored, he was pretty poor. Partey was very poor yesterday. Granit Xhaka was just himself, just roaming around in midfield. Saka didn't really show up yesterday like he usually do. But that's okay. You're not going to get these players. Aubameyang, we didn't really see him yesterday. You're not going to get, 10 out of 10 from these players every week. But if we play like we did yesterday and we still come away with a 3-1 win, you have to take it. So definitely, I'll give it to Gabriel for the goal he scored. But I really think he marshaled that back line pretty well.
Yeah. I think you're kind of right, MOBAY. It was not like real standout, performances. I mean, I chose Martin Odegaard, but it could have been any one of like 3 or 4 players. Saka, I kind of get the impression, Eltel, that maybe he's a little bit fatigued. I saw in the live show yesterday, people asked me about Saka, was non-existent. I'm thinking maybe because he's very, very young, we've put so much responsibility on the young shoulders. Maybe he too is fatigued. He probably needs a break, Eltel. I know.
It is, and you're absolutely right. He did look fatigued. He lacked that little zip of pace. I want just to pick up on what MOBAY was saying there. I did think towards the end of the match, at least for next season, we found our perfect left back in Tierney and our perfect left centre back in Gabriel. So when Arteta is making his plans, he can know he's got those 2 places nailed down. In terms of Saka, they are overplaying him. And in the match against Burnley, they played him for the last 10 minutes. They played him like a sort of number 10, and he looked really good. He looked fantastic because he's got a phenomenal football brain. And when you're looking at young players, you can look at all their skills in terms of stamina, physique, ability to beat people, all those kind of things. But the one thing that you've got to really think about to be a top level player, you've got to have a good football brain. And he has. He has a phenomenal brain. He's a clever guy. I think he got 10 or 12 GCSEs and 9 were at A star. So, I mean, this guy's clever anyway at anything he does.
Godfather, one question before you move on. Do we think, and Alex, this goes for you too, do we think, because now we're seeing it from players that's playing on that right wing position, it's not just Saka. We've seen it from Pepe. We've seen Aubameyang play over there a few times. We've seen Martinelli play over there a few times. For some reason, whenever a player have a good time on that right wing, Hector Bellerin is not playing that right back. You think that's an issue? Because with Cedric playing at right back, these players seem to perform. I don't know if it's just me. I'm not trying to pick at Bellerin. I'm just putting the question out there. We played with Chambers. Chambers played last week, and we look good going down the right. He's not even a natural right back, But one thing, like you said earlier, and I picked up on this. What you say earlier, Eltel, when the right back get the ball, even Chambers, when he got it last week, he puts it out in front of him and try to swing it in the box. Bellerin does not do that. Defenders are not scared that he's going to take him on down the wing and try to put a crossing, because the first thing he does is stop the ball. Does that affect our players that's playing on the right? I really don't think that. It's just funny. It happens. Everybody that played with Cedric seemed to perform better. It happens with Pepe. It happens with Saka. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. What you guys think?
I don't think you need me to respond. You've already said it.
I really think Arteta, if we've spotted it, Arteta has. He's seen him in training. he will have got to him and said, there are ways of cushioning the ball so that in one touch, like Emil Smith-Rowe does, he's got this one touch. In one touch, you don't just stop it, you move it forward. And I'm sure he's got to him, and I'm sure it's failed. So you've actually got Arteta. If I was Arteta now, I'd be going, I've worked with this guy so hard, and he ignores me. You know, now the moment that happens and you put yourself out there, you know, you have to say, it's time for us to, you're 26, we can get a lot of money for you. They're looking at a guy who's really fast. He's from Morocco. I'm trying to think of his name. He plays for Inter Milan, and he's really
Yeah,
good.
Akimi, or something like that.
Yeah,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And apparently he's faster than Aubameyang and all these guys. He's really fast. 6 foot, which is handy. It's always handy to have another tall player there. And I think that is going to be a deal that will go down during the summer. I think we are going to clear out.
All the problem I have with him is, you know, Inter Milan, they're playing on a Diego Costa. All he's playing is a wing back. He's hardly playing a back four, and he's good. He's great going forward. Like I say, he's a quick player. He can get across it, but I've never seen him really playing a back four. His defensive ability can be questioned. I've seen it before with him, but you know, just like any other right back, maybe he can learn the defensive side of the game, and with, you know, good players in front of him, maybe it will be better. But we just haven't seen him play in the back four. But at this moment, man, I'll take anything at right back. We need to get money for Bellerin like we can now. I'll take anybody at right back right now. We need some change, man, for real. This is getting old.
Yeah, but ideally Cedric, like you said, he has an understanding how Saka needs to play, how Pepe needs to play. The understanding is already there. So I always wonder, if we can see it, how come Arteta can't see it?
And Cedric is not great. He's not even a great right back. You don't look at him and say, you know, that's a great right back to take us forward. But when he plays, the right hand side of our field just looks so much more. I don't know, man. It's just flowers over there. It just looks good. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm not biased to what. And you got to remember too, I was on this show. I remember me and Indian Gooner was on this show the beginning of the season, early, when we talk about selling Bellerin. I was like, no, man, I do not want to sell Bellerin. I said it. I did. I was wrong. Okay, we should have sold him to PSG.
I would never own up to
that. I'm bringing it back. Yes, we got offered that 30 million for. We should have took it, because now we can't keep using this injury as this been so long ago. We've seen players come back from injury. We can give him a season, give him 2 seasons. This was a long time ago. It's not the injury. He lost a bit of pace, yes, but he's still quick enough to take a player on. At least try to take a player. Look what happened yesterday when he crossed the ball to Aubameyang. We almost scored from that. Do it more often. You know, just try, man. He just doesn't try anymore. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. Go on, Eltel, you want to say something?
Well, no, I mean, I think this summer, as we said, is going to be a big change. And if Arteta doesn't do that, unfortunately, we've got quite a toxic sort of people on Twitter and that follow Arsenal, and they're always wanting to change. I think that's a disaster. As MOBAY was saying, when Pep went to Man City, it took him a season or two to get up to speed. Klopp, exactly the same. You know, you've got to give these young managers a while. And who's doing well at Villarreal? Emery. And we never gave Emery enough time either. So give Arteta not only the rest of this season, but the rest of next season, and you should see it taking shape. The question is, how do we buy the players he might be looking for? How do we get them in if we've got to sell first? So I can expect a fire sale of these players as soon as the transfer window opens, get as many out as possible. I'm sure Edu's doing all the background work now. And then with whatever pot you've got, then plug the gaps. Personally, I think we definitely need a new right back. I'm not sure about the centre back, because Luiz has a mistake in him. Every 6 or 7 matches, he does something stupid. Well, I'm sorry, but unless we can know exactly which match it is so that we can drop him, then you just have to shift him out. So we're then going to have to put somebody in that right centre back slot, and we've got some good players. And I think Saliba, from what I hear, is tearing up trees now out in France. You know, he's doing very well. Nobody's going past him. He's good on the ground. He's a big guy. You know, and hopefully his troubles.
Well. Apparently still guard.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
Mavropanos is playing well. Yep.
He is playing well. I think the hardest one to replace is going to be Xhaka, because going forward, he does have that sweet left foot, good vision. No good vision behind him. It's like a horse wearing blinkers. But we need a left-sided midfielder who can tackle as well as play the sweet balls through. Now, let's scour Europe and South America. I hear on the grapevine we possibly might be getting Mark Overmars in, and he's done wonders with youth players, bringing youth players through Ajax. So it's possible that he might come in so that we can scour Europe for Europe's best players. But we definitely need a change of the guard. And I was looking at the players that might still be around, say, in September. And I reckon we're probably going to have at least 4 new players in. And hopefully have got rid of at least 4 of the guys that are weighing us down, you know.
Well, so what about a backup left back for Tierney?
We haven't got one currently. There's a couple of fellas we've been looking at. One guy is a Scottish guy. I can't remember his name, but it's an odd name. And what was the other one? They are looking for someone. We've just promoted one of our left backs from the youth team up into the under 18s as well. But that's not going. I mean, that's no good. You're going to have a good left back now, you know, or in the next few months. And they're going to have.
Remember, we were linked with the Southampton left back with Bertrand. He's out of a contract, so he's a backup. I mean, you're not going to get a player like Tierney to come in and replace Tierney. You either got to get somebody really young or somebody that's, you know, getting to the end of their career. And I think a Premier League proven player like Bertrand is an ex-Chelsea player, so I really don't want to bring a Chelsea player in, but you know. Yeah, but you know, we know how that goes, you know. But someone like that playing in the Premier League already, I really do think he would be an ideal backup. Even the one Van Arnold from Chelsea, well, not Chelsea, Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
You know, he would be another one that I will take into, you know, as a left back. We play a lot of games, especially if we get back into Europe again, the Europa League or wherever. We do have a lot of game and a lot of Tierney. You know, he has his fitness problem at times too. So I think we definitely need a left back. We are you know, hip hopping over the line right now without one. With Cedric can play there, but you know, get to the end of the season, you're not going to go into next season with just one left back. It's not going to happen. So if we can get some money for Kolasinac, defending wise, I think a right back is the priority. If I had to get one player in, it would be a right back for defensively. Center back, I think we do need another center back, but I think with the young players that we have, I do think we can get away with it. We spent $30 million on Saliba. At some point, you have to play him. You know, Mavropanos has been here for a while. He hasn't been at the club, played only a season here before he got injured and we loaned him out. But for 2 years, he's been in Germany playing consistently. He got to be able to come over and do a job. We still have Holden. We just gave him a new contract. You know, we have Marie. He's a left-footed center back, just like Gabriel, which is the problem. Why you don't? I think they're ideal to play with each other. But the problem is they're both left-footed. You're not going to see them playing with each other much unless it's in a back three. You know, so I do think we have enough center backs. At least we get some out. I don't see us bringing one in. So I think we have bigger concern at right back. We need to get a midfielder for sure. And if we can bring back Odegaard, which I know Alex is going to get that later, but if we can bring back Odegaard or someone similar to compete with Smith Rowe, because we can't count on him for the whole season. Yeah. We need another player in there, someone a little bit not older than him, but with some more experience. You know, I think we have good on the wings. We're flush. I don't think we should bring in any more winger at all. If anything, we should try to get rid of Willian, and we have Reece Nelson who can't even get a game. We have Martinelli who can't even get a game. Up front is the same thing too. You know, we probably get rid of Lacazette, you know, but do you bring another player in or do you put Martinelli up there? He's a better forward for me than he is a winger. You know, we still have Aubameyang, we still have Nketiah. You know, do you bring another one in? At some point, we have to use these young players. It's not about buy all the time. You just buy the right players. We're not Manchester City. We don't have money like that. So For anyone think we're going to spend $100 million on 4 players, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I completely
No,
agree.
I can tell you what
watching
they've
now,
got to do as well, lad.
Sorry, I need to go to the live chat. Give me 1 second. Anyone just watching now? We just got the the chairman of the board. He still needs to be deposed. We've got to have like voting for a new chairman of the board, maybe. Nah, he's doing a good job. Just about, man. And we've got Eltel, the original Godfather, back in the house again, looking quite scary there, actually. The sunglasses and the light as well. I'm thinking, I look like a cat caught in the car lights, man. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get into the live chat and see who has joined us this evening. It's just quite a few comments here. Got Colin Young who says, "Woohoo! I'm fired up, Alex. You did it. Well, I didn't do it. Arsenal did it. 3-1 to the Arsenal, man. 3-1 to the Arsenal. Good evening, panel," says the assembled, and I recognise this name. It's my brother, isn't it? This is what we want, MOBAY, Eltel. Well, Larry's not here. And your host, Alex. A good evening, guys. A good evening to you as well. MOBAY! We want Emi Martinez back, man.
Emi.
I'm not going to entertain any of that tonight. Nope, I'm not going to entertain any of that tonight, Colin. Get out. I'm not even going. Nope, not doing it.
All right, okay. Ashley D says, "Hey up, power to the Gooners." Eltel should be offering his dark heart services to the Gooners. Tell.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've few of them ready to go, lads. I promise you. Against Tottenham.
David, my moderator, actually my second moderator, says, "Big up, Alex, Eltel, MOBAY, here to make your mood sway. How are you, gentlemen?" Well, I'm fine. Did any of you guys know this fact? Andy Cole played for Arsenal, but for like 1 day. Which else? We knew. Well, actually, I knew Andy Cole played for Arsenal. Like the one. Was it only 1 game, Hotel?
I remember watching him quite a few times play. Now, whether that was in the reserve, I'm pretty sure he played for the first team quite a bit. And we just won the league the previous season, and George Graham was videoed talking to the Arsenal players, the sort of new squad in pre-season, and Andrew Cole started kind of not exactly back chatting him, but chatting to the guy next to him. Now, it obviously wound up George Graham, but myself and Alex, who are in schools all the time, I mean, it's common. Kids do that, and they might be casting aspersions on you to their mate, but you ignore it, because if you start to get annoyed by that, they have got you by the tail. So I really feel it was annoying, because they let him go to Forest, I think, and then he went on to sort of Man United and that. And I do think I've often thought about, I'm not sure that Arteta fully understands how to deal with some of these characters. I suspect Ainsley Maitland-Niles might be a bit of a lad, but as you and I know, there are ways to talk to these people, and I could get Ainsley aside, and within 10 minutes, I'd have his whole life story off him, and I'd be his best mate, because I can talk to these people. And I do worry that Arteta can't seem to get that vibe going with some of our players. I suppose he's got enough on his plate. Maybe you should have somebody in there, talking to the players and finding out what motivates them, what their worries are. You can't go directly to people like that, children, teenagers or adults, but there are ways. You've got to have a personality. And if you're going to really get the best out of your team, you've got to know what makes them tick, what motivates them, If not, you end up losing players. And at the moment, it looks like Balogun's going, and we've lost players in the past like that. We haven't been able to, the teenage years are a tough time, aren't they? We all went through it. It's a tough time. You don't like authority. Somebody's telling you, go here, go there, stand up, sit down. It's really annoying, And I do worry that we haven't got somebody in there that is an intermediary between the management and the player, that can just get to know them as a friend. Yeah.
You know what, MOBAY? This morning when I did my morning show, people were telling me, they were reflecting on Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock, and who was the other player? And Reece Nelson. Would you have all these guys come back to Arsenal, or would you sell them permanently?
You know, I'm a big Niles fan, man, but he wants to play in midfield. I just don't see where he's going to get in Arsenal
Yeah,
midfield. That's the problem. He does not want to be a right back. I think he can be a fantastic right back if he hold his head down, and because he actually know how to get the ball forward and take a player on and put a cross in, you know. But he doesn't seem he don't want to play right back. He's at West Brom now, and you know he's pretty much. It's just all the news that just confirmed that he wants to play in midfield. Big Sam said it that he comes in and he tell him that he wants to play in midfield and he will not play right back unless he has an emergency at right back. You can see that he just doesn't want to play right back. I don't see him getting in the midfield at Arsenal. I don't think he's a very good midfielder because his passing is below par. And it is as a midfielder. What we seen happen to Ceballos and Xhaka, that's the same thing that will happen to Maitland
happened to
Niles.
him.
He just is not a good passer of the ball and playing the way Arteta played. That's why I think he doesn't play him in there because he's gonna get caught out in midfield. So I want to see him, but he's not going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it at Arsenal, and you know that's my guy.
Yeah,
Joe Willock, I still don't know what he is good at. He's not a number 10. He's not a defensive midfielder. I think he can play box to box, but then he's so hot and cold. Is he going to make it at Arsenal? I would like to see him come back. I think Guendouzi's a better player than all of them. I want to see him come back and give it a chance at Arsenal because I think he's a better player. Reece Nelson, I want to see him get a chance because we want to see. I hope we can get rid of Willian, even though he's playing well now. Maybe somebody will want him, and we can off. I don't think we should have ever bought him with the players that we have. But Reece Nelson, I think he can have a time at Arsenal. But if it was something that we didn't get rid of William in the summer, send Reece Nelson on loan so he can go play some games. He should have went on loan this season. Don't know why he didn't. He's playing for the under 23 now. This is like a backward step. He could be playing at such higher level, whether it's in the championship, whether it's back in Germany, anywhere. He could be getting experience somewhere else, but he stayed here and he's not getting the game time that he needed. So for me, those three players that you mentioned, Nelson, Willock, and Nas, if I had to pick one that I would say I would like to see given a fair shot, it would be Reece Nelson because I think Joe Willock has gotten his chances.
yeah,
I think Niles has gotten his chances, and they just haven't took it. I do think throw a player in there like I said, Guendouzi. I do want to see Guendouzi come back. I know you're not a big fan of Guendouzi, but I do think I want Guendouzi given another chance because the play that we are trying to play, the style of play that we're trying to play now, he's very good at that. He looks around when he receives the ball. You know, he will hold. He shields the ball well. He will hold the ball, and so as soon as somebody touch him, he falls on it before he gives it away. That's just what he does, you know, and it suits the style of play that we play now. So I like to see him come back and give it a chance, man. But I hope Joe can do well at Newcastle. I hope Niles can do better at West Brom so we can get some money for these guys. But I don't really see him making it at Arsenal. Playing in the midfield for Niles, especially.
yeah. It's going to be very difficult. There's no place for him in the midfield. Colin says, look at the Godfather, all gangstered up. The Assemble says, MOBAY, is it a coincidence that you arrive every time Leno makes a mistake?
I say that. I hope he was here when the show began. I'm telling you, I have been on the show in months. As soon as Leno make back-to-back mistake, here go Alex ringing my phone up. I look at the phone and I said, I know exactly why he's calling me. I know what's gonna happen tomorrow. So yeah, I'll go ahead and do it.
Oh, dear me. It's just a coincidence, man. It's my agenda. Oh, dear me. Listen, before we talk about the last segment, in regards to the Premier League action on Sunday against Spurs, North London derby, I wanted to pick you guys' brains in regards to Martin Odegaard. Again, this week, lots of comments about let's buy him, let's send him back to Real Madrid. For me, it's too soon to make a decision about Martin Odegaard. He's only played like a handful of games. Only a handful of games. And we've still got is it 10 more games to go before the end of the season? Let's wait at the end of the season. Let's see how he's feeling, how Arsenal are feeling, and Arteta's feeling. But right now, it will be unfair to make a decision. Oh, we're gonna let's buy him, and there's not an option to buy him. At the end of his loan period, he has to go back to Real Madrid, as far as I understand. But Martin Odegaard, your summation.
Yeah, well, when I first saw him, I wasn't that impressed. Yes, he's got a sweet left foot, and he can dribble over small spaces quite well. I thought he lacked a bit of pace. And then because he'd only just started playing for us, he wasn't playing any through balls. So I thought, well, maybe he doesn't, that's his forte, but he doesn't know where all the new players are that he's playing. But I haven't seen a lot from him since. Yes, he hit a fantastic goal the other night. But you know what? If we're talking about number 10s, I think Saka will end up as a number 10 eventually. And I think he proved against Burnley, even in that last 10 minutes, that he's got those through balls in him. He's got that fantastic vision. So at the moment, for me, the jury's out. And it's very difficult for us to sort of gauge. I do believe he's just been made captain of his country, Norway. So he's obviously going to be full of himself and thinking how wonderful he is. That's quite dangerous, actually. The last thing you want to do at the age of 22, 23 is to think you are the best player in your country, even if you are, because it's sometimes you get a ceiling. You then think, I've done it, I've arrived. And if you think that at 22, no, because the best of you will come between 20, as it did with your friend Liam Brady, Alex. The best of Liam came from 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. That's when you really saw Liam's vision and his ability to dictate play. So Ødegaard, for me, the jury's out, but let's keep playing him. We've already worried about Emil Smith-Rowe. He does have a lovely first touch, but I'm worried about his fitness levels. So let's keep playing Ødegaard and then we probably won't have a decision to make because he'll probably be, if he does well for us and we want him, he'll probably have to go back anyway. Yeah.
MOBAY, Martin Ødegaard, man.
I agree with you, Alex. I think we just need to just play the rest of the season now and see how it goes. He just came in. He hasn't really, I'm not gonna say hit the ground running, but he seemed to like the way we play. He seemed to like being an Arsenal player, but we still have ways to go in the league, man. We have 10 games to go. We're still 10th in the league. We're still in the Europa League. We still got other games to play. He's playing well in parts, but for him to be here now, I think it was a good move to get him in January because Smith-Rowe did need that kind of help. If we're going to play with that play in the number 10 position, you can't just have one. And if he was to go back and didn't, the summer coming, he go back to Madrid, we're all going to need another player like him. The problem comes, do you want a player that's been here for a while, that's already had 6 months to accumulate to the way we play, or you want to go buy another player and have to wonder? Because every signing that you make, that's the thing. Every signing that you make, you just don't know if they're going to hit the ground running. I remember Dani Ceballos when he first signed for us, the first loan period, and he had that game at home against Burnley. Everybody wanted us to sign him right away.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted us to sign Ceballos. Now look at Ceballos now. He's another player that you don't really know what he's good at. He's a deep line playmaker. He can't play a number 10 because he doesn't seem to play forward passes enough, which is what I like about Ødegaard, because he will take a chance. He loses the ball a lot, but he does take a chance passing the ball forward. We haven't seen that in this team in a while. So I think with him and Smith-Rowe, I think we do have something going in that position. If one doesn't play well, they will push each other. I don't want people talking about he's coming in to stop the growth of Smith-Rowe. We can't, just like Intel just said, you can't just have a player thinking he's the number 10 at Arsenal player. At 20 years old, whatever age Smith-Rowe is, 20, 21, whatever he is, you can't have a player that young at Arsenal. I'm the only number 10 in the club. I'm going to start every game. No, you got to have players pushing them for him to get better. And if a player like Martin Ødegaard or someone similar comes in, that's what you want from Smith-Rowe. Show that you're the best for the job. There's a lot of games to go around. So I do think we're all going to need a player like Ødegaard. So whether we keep him or not, we just have to wait till the end of the season. But if we let him go back to Madrid, don't pay whatever price they ask for him, we're all still going to need a player like him. That's just what it is. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. But, with Emerson Rowe and Ødegaard, do you think they can play together, or would you prefer to see one or the other, MOBAY?
I like seeing one or the other, but then it gives you that option when you're playing. So we're playing at home, like the game we play against Burnley the other day, where Burnley literally had all 11 men in their 18-yard box. That's when you can play both of them. You don't need to have a Partey and a Granit Xhaka playing against Burnley, because Burnley are never gonna be a team to pass it through a midfield. They're gonna hit it long, and try and play off the bounce. You can at some time you can play with 2 10s. You know, you're chasing a game. You have two players who can pick that pass. I don't like when he's trying to play one on the wing and play one in the middle. That I don't like. I really don't like that. I don't like to see Smith Rowe on the wing. I don't think he's effective. I think we have better players over it. I think Pepe is better on the left hand side than he is on the right. We can play, you know, Aubameyang can switch over there at times. We can play Lacazette up front. I just don't think that we need to force them in the team. But chasing a game, playing against a low block team, I think we can play both of them. You know, with one defensive midfielder with 2 8s, I think that could work.
Okay, cool. Right, so yeah, like I said, we're back in action. North London derby. Ah, my goodness. I've got to say, I'm not really motivated for the game, the North London derby. I'm just thinking, I feel more excited about the Europa League, to be honest. Yeah, 3-1 to the Arsenal. But Mourinho's Lily Whites, and we're playing at home. Yeah, we're playing at home. Tell your thoughts, man. Come Sunday.
Well, you know what? When Sir Henry Norris moved Arsenal from Woolwich to Highbury, there was a lot of problems because Tottenham didn't want another big football club near them. And then Sir Henry Norris said, look, if you've got two clubs only a matter of maybe 5 or 6 miles apart, you've got two big matches every season where the supporters will want their team to win. And of course, he was a money man, and aren't all the owners, you know. And we've had this intense rivalry over the years. Personally, I'm not that interested in it. I've been watching Arsenal long enough to know, you know, local derbies come and go. It's hard if you're a school kid and you have to walk into our old school in Highbury Grove, and if Arsenal had lost to Tottenham, you know, it was awful. But you know what? Our big hope this season is the Europa League. Goodness knows if we're good enough. There are times yesterday where we looked absolutely fantastic, and there are other times when we look very poor. So which Arsenal is going to turn up, I don't know. But no, I think we'll be doing well to even finish 8th. And that, you know, as to whether they win against Tottenham or draw, all I want to make sure is that we don't get hammered, and that we don't lose some important players to injuries. And after that, I don't really mind, because it's the match the following Thursday that is really important. And we're getting to the point now. I think if we were to get through, we're into the quarterfinals, I think. So you know, we are getting close to it now. We are getting up there, you know. And what's the chances we'll probably meet Emery's team or Tottenham again? Possible.
MOBAY, man. North London derby.
Yeah, always that game, right? Always that one that you want to win, man. That's for me, it's the same, man. I'm not really too excited about it. The position that we are in the league doesn't make you what we're going to gain from beating Tottenham. 3 points, and we're probably still going to be 10th, you know. So it's like it's like either way, we're bad to have seen the league, man. I just want this league season to be over with. You know, I take right now. If they tell us 38 games and you take 10, I'm taking it. Let's leave it like it is. It don't even matter. Europa League or nothing. But you still want to win an North London derby, especially playing at home. We haven't won one in a while, and I really don't like Mourinho. That's the thing. I hate Tottenham, but I don't like Mourinho either. You know, that's the thing. For me, I still want to win the game. You know, of course, we still want Arsenal to win. I'm going in it confident because it's the North London derby. We always know what always happens. The team that's in form, you go in the North London derby, you'd be like, okay, they're going to roll over in the next team, and then something else happens. So you might be in for a surprise. You might see, and we haven't been playing bad. If we don't give away goals, the problem is teams don't even have to try to score against us. We're just giving goals away. We should just start to score our own goal early in the game and just go from there, settle the nerves, because it seems to happen every game. So, yeah, man, I still think we have what it takes to win. The substitutions yesterday made me think that Arteta is going to go for a strong team. You know, you got Holden probably come back in. Holden and Marie probably be the center back pairing, because he seemed to switch them to the Premier League and the Europa League. So you probably see Holden and Marie come back in. I really like Marie as a center back. Cedric didn't play. You could see him play at right back. Pepe didn't play. You could see him. Lacazette love a goal in a big game. Smith Rowe didn't start yesterday, so he's probably going to start. You know, so it's a lot of players that didn't play that you expected to see yesterday that you didn't really see play. So yeah, man, for sure. Partey only played 55 minutes yesterday. Didn't look well, but he's coming back from his injuries, working his way back to fitness. So you can see him get another 60 or 70 minutes tomorrow too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. It's a home game, and just when we think that this team is going to let us down, they always seem to turn up. We see how they end. We see how they end last season. You know, I'm hoping it's something like that. A win in North London Derby always does good for the confidence. So hopefully they can go on, get a win, and then the big game is Thursday, man. I know North London is always the biggest game. You look at it, but Thursday for us in this season, we cannot go out the Europa League. Like Intel just said, we are into the quarterfinal. We're literally 4 games away from getting into another Europa League final. You know, and the teams are the good teams are. It's all good teams that's still left in it. The one thing we don't want right now is any big injury. You know, an injury to Saka, another injury to Partey. You know, another goalkeeper injury to Leno, or one of our center backs going down. That's Tierney. It's just so much players that we are like they're playing on the red line. We just don't want to nothing bad to happen in this game, and then we're going to the Europa League trying to patch up a team to try and get to another final. This is the big game. The big game is Thursday, but I do want to win the North London Derby too. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Would you guys like to give me a prediction for Sunday, or would you like to take the Fifth Amendment?
5-0 Arsenal.
5-0. Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, we're winning, man. 3-1. I'm picking it right now. Right now. 3-1 Arsenal.
Eltel?
Okay, I'll go with 3-1 as well. Yeah, I'll have that one. Lovely.
I'll go 2-1 Arsenal.
And Lacazette is scoring.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That'd be good. That would be nice.
Chat just for the last one before we wrap up this one. Ashley D says, "Blimey, we have Alex, MOBAY, and Suggs from Madness on tonight. Let's let the fun begin."
Big up, Ashley. Big up.
Eltel, I can't help but feel you need to sing everybody the blues. Sing the blues. Please give us a piece of the blues.
Everybody needs so.
Favorite music, but I can tell you a quick story about Suggsy. When I used to teach near King's Cross, just across the way was Camden. And when Madness fell out of favour, Suggsy went back to being some sort of a milkman. And all the kids knew him. And they were going, "Oh, Suggsy's back on the milk." And then, of course, there was a big revival. And now he doesn't have to be a milkman anymore. So he was very popular in the area. Yeah, as I say, it was just where Islington Camden meet at that corner. Suggsy.
Well, how come Eltel looks like he's in the witness protection program?
This can run, man.
Oh dear. My brother says, Alex, on the Leno passes, look at how many touches Xhaka takes compared to Leno passing to Ceballos. Ceballos had 2 players on him, hence the reason why they scored. Do you want to say something on that, MOBAY?
Yeah, incompetent midfielders. That's what it is. They try to blame our goalkeeper, but these midfielders are, I don't know why they need so much touches, man. You do not need that much. But listen, Leno got to do better, man. Leno, my guy too, man. Leno, I got his number in my phone, so I'm gonna send him a WhatsApp later and tell him do not pass the ball, to Granit Xhaka or Daddy Ceballos, because it's making you look bad, bro. I'm gonna give him a DM because he followed me on the Twitter. It's my guy, you know what I mean? I'm gonna send him a DM later. Do not, whatever you do like they do in the Bellerin. Do not pass the ball to Granit Xhaka. I don't care what Arteta say. I'd rather you be on the bench than get blamed for everything else that's going on around you. I got to hear this Martinez story every day because. Hey, you know what, Alex? You know what though? Last week he saved us. Last week he said he gave us that point.
I know. And I did say it on the post-game reaction.
You did. He said he gave us that point. They were clear too. That goal, that Wood strikeout, he saved. That's the thing. People don't really. You got to remember, man. There's 50% of Arsenal fans like Martinez, and the other 50 like. If you ask people how much mistake Martinez made this year, they don't even know. They just look at Villa game and say, "Oh, clean sheet." he's good to go. But he's had some dodgy games too. It's just goalkeepers, man. It's gonna get show up. But if you have midfielders that keep doing what they're doing at Arsenal, the goals that we're giving away, man, are comical, man. Comical. All over this team. So let's hope we can cut that out. Leno, fix up. No balls to Granit Xhaka. I don't care who it is.
Eltel appears to be correct about Erdegaard and Saka not passing to Bellerin. Bellerin has lost that pace, unfortunately, but in watching the match, Xhaka and Bellerin and Luiz always played backwards. They're not progressive enough.
No.
Not progressive. But do you not think we probably need a midfielder who can dribble as well? We don't have a player who can dribble.
Well, I was just reading an article. I was reading an article today about Cazorla, Santi Cazorla, and despite all his ankle injuries and stuff, he's playing brilliantly. Two-footed player. How many times?
I'll take him right back. I take him back right now. I don't care if he's 50. He's better than what we got in that midfield.
Believe
Santi
that.
Cazorla.
Believe that. Yeah. Oh dear, guys. You know what? We've got to call it quits. I know there's a lot of comments coming in the live chat. Unfortunately, I've got to head off. You know, time's kind of caught up with us. But before we wrap up this one, Eltel, in the witness protection scheme.
I'm really in an underground bunker somewhere. South Korea.
Hey,
listen, MOBAY, Gooner, always a pleasure, brother, to have you back on the channel for the.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know, anytime, man. No matter where I'm at in the world, I'm always somewhere else, but I'm always gonna come on the show and let you guys know that King Leno is Arsenal #1. You know, whether you guys like it or not. If you don't like it, go support Aston Villa. They're 8th. You know, you want them. They're 8th. They're doing so well. They're like 3 points ahead of us, but he got 14 clean sheets, so it's all good. Let's do it. How dare you, me? The team is 3 points ahead of Arsenal.
Yeah, but they're ahead. Anyway. I do apologize for everybody else in the live chat. I just couldn't get to the bottom. There's so many comments there. But thank you. We do appreciate you guys commenting, viewing us. I saw the numbers just bubbling, just below 30, I think, at any one time watching us for this segment of the Easy Talk. I will be back again tomorrow morning, giving you some more live views. Hopefully, maybe Elto could join me again, but he's in the witness protection scheme. So we have to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, guys, thank you for joining us. And if you are a newbie, watch us for the first time, and you've been wondering, what have I been watching here? Well, you've been watching Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.